It is a somber. First of all, it's a I don't even know when it's gonna air. So it's a somber between the laughs. We lost a friend, and it made me think about. I've been doing stand-up since 1988, and we have had a lot of losses in comedy, stand-up comedians.
Yep.
Some that we really knew, some that affected us. I would imagine all affected us in some way, shape, or form in a little one. And I just wanted to kind of, it kind of sucks. Part of me, I was talking to Juan Villarreal this weekend. So this weekend we were in Houston, this past weekend, and I was talking to Juan Villarreal, and he was talking about how he wanted to fake his death so that he could listen to what everybody's going to say. Like he wants to lie down in the casket and just listen to what everybody needs to say, because he knows that there are people that are going to say really fucking nice things about him that were not nice to him when he was alive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, he wanted to be there to just, and all of a sudden somebody said something, that's bullshit. Let me tell you about that guy, to say it. And I was like, wow, because I've thought of that. Not that way. Oh yeah. I literally want to have a wake. Like you can't though, because the thing is once you die, people all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Will say like, he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Which is like, why are you here? If you're not really my friend, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You remember how many comedians did the wake that weren't really great friends, or all they did was go up on stage and try to do stand-up?
Yeah.
But anyway, so Jeff Garcia recently passed away, and I didn't know he was sick.
Yeah.
So my story with him, and then we'll talk about all the others that affected us too. But so Jeff is interesting because when Jeff first started doing stand-up, I wanted to bring him on the road. And ironically, it was at the Laugh Stop in Houston, Texas. And it used to be run by this guy named Mark Babbitt. And I'll never forget, the first show, bro, when I get off stage, he goes, listen, not for anything, but that guy can't open for you. And I go, why? He's hysterical. He goes, it's like watching Carlos Light and then Carlos. He goes, he's just too much like you. His mannerisms are like you.
Oh.
He says, fucker like you. But this was in his young. He was really young. And I was kind of somebody that he looked up to.
Yeah.
So I was like, really? Was it that bad? He goes, yes. It's literally like he's good, and then you see you and you go, oh, this is what, it's almost like the before and after, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And I helped him as much as I could, brought him on the road, sometimes blah, blah, blah. And as he got older, it was different. But that's a guy that I wish I could have helped more, but I just couldn't, because when we worked together at that time, when he wasn't making money, he wasn't on Jimmy Neutron, he wasn't doing voiceovers.
Yeah.
He was, part of that group of kids that followed me that were a little too much like me. So I couldn't.
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. What were your
Thoughts on Jeff?
just, how did he affect you? He was,
Jeff.
and this isn't the one where we're not gonna shit on anybody, but we're also not gonna just pretend that everything was perfect.
Yeah. No. In the beginning, I butted heads with Jeff when I first met him, because trying to get booked into clubs, the only way in the beginning of your career, if you're trying to get into clubs, it has to be like a Latino show of some sort. Since my last name was Lopez, so a Refried Fridays, a Jalapeno Wednesdays, shit like that. They're just stupid names that just rhymed.
Mm-hmm. Anything to throw in there.
Yeah.
This is a Latino show.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. This is and it for some reason, maybe it's because all those shows seem to be on the West Coast or on that side of the, west of the Mississippi. It seemed like they all had a Mexican-y
Yes.
feel, right? Like Refried is Mexican.
Yes.
Nobody thinks Central America. Nobody thinks
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rico. Nobody thinks, Cubans. Nobody goes, the Cuban Rico. Yeah. So that's very good. So a lot of those, the jalapeno Tuesdays. A jalapeno is very, so it was very Mexi-centric as well.
Yeah. And this is like before he got Jimmy Neutron, which I was a huge fan of that cartoon. I absolutely loved it. The writing was amazing. But at the beginning, when my first meeting with Jeff, it was like he was like the big fish in a small pond almost type scenario, because he didn't really like traveling around the country. He pretty much isolated himself to like the Southwest, California, Arizona, maybe Texas, but that's it. And he just felt he could make a career with that. And as time passed, as he realized that.
Hold on for a second. Sorry. Go ahead. As time went on.
As time went on, we were in more shows together and realized I wasn't the bad guy that didn't kiss the Godfather's ring in the beginning. When I was just worried about my set.
Well, tell the story.
Yeah, we were at the Improv in Hollywood, and it was my first time ever performing there. I'm nervous. I remember my hands were clammy. Like I feel my hands getting clammy right now.
Right.
That's
the cotton mouthy thing.
Yeah. And,
where all of a sudden your words don't come out.
And I know I got 8 minutes, and I'm just working. I'm just trying to cycle through my 8 minutes, and Jeff happens to walk in, and everybody's just kissing the Godfather's ring all of a sudden. Like it was like, hey Jeff, because he created some success for himself at this point.
Yeah, at that point, had the movie already come out?
I'm not sure if the movie had already come out, but it must have, I'm guessing.
Right.
But people were really kissing. The lower end comics, myself in that same category, were really kissing his butt. I wasn't. I was worried about my 8 minutes. If anything, I was going to say hi to him after. That was my mindset. I'll say hi to him right now. I'm early on in the lineup. I'm the newer guy, the newer kid on the block. And
you were focused on
my
what
set.
You needed to do. You were young. So you needed the time to do that,
yes, correct.
to prep that.
I'm at the Hollywood Improv.
Right.
I can't believe this, first of all.
I got it.
And so
I've been in those situations where you're in your own world.
Yes.
And then people walk in and they don't respect the fact that you need this time to do that you're in a different space.
Yes. And Jeff goes to the promoter and like, hey, who's that kid over there? It's like, well, that's Gabe Lopez. He's going up. It's his first time here up tonight. Well, we need to teach that kid some respect. Put him on at the end. Jeff had that power to do that apparently. So put him on at the end of the lineup as opposed to the first or second spot. So the promoter, I don't even want to mention his name because I'm still pissed off at him for doing something so stupid.
But he had to do it.
I don't know. I book my own shows. If somebody did that to me, no, this is my show, not yours. That's my mindset.
Yeah, but that's you now, right? That's you now that
but
you have that.
But this show had already existed for years.
The Refried Fridays?
The Refried Fridays had already existed for years. And so how it worked out was I had to go after Jeff Garcia, then Brad Williams, then Steve Trevino, then Russell Peters, then me.
Ouch. I'll
never forget that lineup. And
were you equipped to deal with that?
I'm already like in my own head, and Russell Peters, God bless Russell Peters, but he saw that I'm just pacing up and down, like, hey man, what's going on? He grabs me by the shoulder, hey, what's going on? It's like, Russ, they're forcing me to go on after you. I know I can't follow you guys. Don't worry about it, buddy. I'll tell you what, I'm actually looking for new opening acts. After my set, I'll sit down and watch your set. I'm like, Russell, you're not helping me right now. Now, not only
more pressure on you?
Not only do I have to follow these 4 powerhouses, I have to follow these 4 powerhouses. Now I'm auditioning.
Right. Hey, here's a little more weight.
Yeah.
Put this on your back.
Yeah. Put this sack of potatoes on your back while you're on stage there, would you?
Right. He was. I've been in that kind of situation before, and from his perspective, what he was trying to say was like, don't even worry about it. I know what funny is. Like, you don't have to worry about, does the audience get it? We know what good is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch you, and if you're that good, it doesn't matter what reaction you get. That's what he was trying to say.
Well, needless to say, I ate a bag of dicks. Like,
did you?
I feel I did.
Okay.
I don't remember my ears even working. I just remember trying to get through my 8 minutes and at that time seemed like the longest 8 minutes of my life. And people are walking out because they've never heard of me, and they saw who they came to see. Nobody was there to see me, and just the anxiety of watching people just walk out of the room when during that, and that was supposed to teach me a lesson.
Did it?
No. It was so counterproductive. But fast forward, now I'm booking my own shows, and somebody's reaching out because they want to do Vegas.
Right.
Hey, Jeff, what's up? What's up, dog? It's like, you got any work for me? Yeah, buddy, I got this show, this setup, and I got your hotel rooms, and like I at that point, Jeff never knew that story.
How did he not know the story?
He never knew my perspective on that story and how much he probably didn't remember that night at all. It's stuck in my brain still to this day.
I can't imagine. Okay, well, I don't know, but I personally could not imagine not remembering that day because I've never done anything like that. So if I did do something like that, it would be really a big thing. It would be a big deal. It would be something like an explosion in my head because I'd be like, fuck, remember I tried to do that to that kid? Mm-hmm. So I would imagine.
And I never confronted him on it. I never told him about it.
You never brought it up?
I never brought it up to him. And then fast forward, because I was still a fan of his. I really was. I thought he was very talented. And,
he was very funny.
And he was a cartoon voice, which was my dream. Stand up in a cartoon is my dream.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was able to hire him to do my shows, and my shows were popular enough for him to want to do.
Right.
And they loved him at my shows. They absolutely loved him at my shows. And I just kept that. I kind of boxed up that little feeling I had from that night and just let it go. I'd move forward. Now this guy's working for me. And he was so talented and so much fun to watch. And if anybody got to see anything Jeff Garcia did, the way his brain worked, if he talked to 12 people in the front row, finding out their name, their occupation, whatever, and he would get through the list of 12, and let's say they all flip-flopped, and a new person came to show up to the show.
Right.
Hi, what's your name? Carlos. Carlos, let me catch you up. This is Jennifer. She does this. This is Bill. He does this. This is so-and-so. They flip-flopped over here for a second, and the way his memory worked to get I was just blown away. Like, I've never seen a talent like that before.
Right. He was one of the first. He might be the first Latino comedian that pretty much only did crowd work.
Yeah, that I can think of.
But it became crowd work, right? Because in the beginning, he was doing a lot of material.
Like, he had a Comedy Central special, and obviously there was no crowd work in that.
Right.
And he had a few things that he recorded,
right,
which weren't.
They didn't blow up or anything.
No.
It was because he got really good at that. Yeah. I think that part of what drove him to that was what occurred with us. People started telling him, like, hey, you sound like Carlos. In the beginning, early in his careers. I would imagine that kind of made him go, well, shit, then I'm going to do something that Carlos doesn't do. I've never been a crowd work kind of guy. Today if I'm doing, a gay joke and there's two gay guys and I'm like, you guys gay? Like, yeah, okay, then you can verify what I'm saying. It's more about verification, and, bringing them
not
into
that
the fold.
You're not digging into the gay couple. That's not your style.
No, like, last night, I mean, I talked to almost the whole front row, to that kid, to his parents, but it was never, I don't know where they live. I don't know what the kid does for a living. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the parents do for a living. We never got into that. It was outside the realm of that. It was more about, I'm going to do a joke about the difference between Chinese people and Japanese people. Was there somebody Japanese here? You're Chinese? Oh, perfect. So you guys can tell me. So this is what I see. Da, 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 da. And then they go, yeah, right. And then what else? Oh, and then this. Oh, and then that's how I incorporate it. But I don't do what he did. I don't do that. But I believe that part of, because him and Juan Villarreal lived together for a while when they were young.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they lived together. And he told me that, he wanted to be his own man, which, of course, dude. Like, it hurt me to say to him, I can't bring you on the road.
Yeah.
Because I saw what you saw. I saw this young Latin kid with a lot of, like, fire, and he didn't have a crazy energy, right? He wasn't, like, energetic like us.
Yeah.
It was kind of mellow. He was like like a Barbosa type comedian, but way before that he was way beyond
Yeah.
that, way before that stuff.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
And he had this look, like one of the things that I'll remember is the sound he made when he stabs people in his act.
Oh yeah, that. Oh, ow, wow. Each part of the body
Yeah,
has a different sound.
yeah. And the stabber is right
Yeah.
there, right? He just little stuff like that he did, and yeah, he was. But he was also. It's also interesting what you said. He was also an interesting comedian in the fact that he didn't need to blow up in America. He didn't need to kill it in America.
It was never his intention. He never wanted to do that.
I know, that's crazy though.
Hey, do you want to do Wisconsin? No.
He did not.
I don't need to do Wisconsin.
But he didn't want to. Like, he literally was like, you know what? The Southwest
Yeah,
has.
I can make a career through just this part of the country.
Yeah, the Southwest, right? If you take Texas, New Mexico, Arizona,
And
Colorado,
and Southern California, not even Northern. I never knew him to go up to
Southern California, Nevada, just right there.
Yeah.
You could probably pull 35 to 50 dates out of there, depending on how
Yeah.
small you go with the minutia. You make a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
So that was his thing. He didn't want to kill it. He didn't want to be. I've always been. I want to go to New York. I want to go to Saskatchewan. I want to go to Reykjavik.
Yeah.
I want to I want to sell out in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah. Like I've always wanted to go beyond just that. But that's been, which is ironic because I should have stayed Ned, and that probably would have helped out. I kind of Carlos-sized myself, but anyway. But it was always about trying to be much bigger. He influenced me in the sense that with me anyway, he was always a really sweet kid. He was always a really sweet kid to me. He wasn't the challenging guy. He always looked up to me. He was always very nice to me, and I liked him a lot, man. And he's one of the guys that you were saying I enjoyed just sitting down to watch. I could watch him.
Yeah.
For his whole set.
Because I'm watching this guy work, and he and I were the same age. Watching this guy work, and just from the point he got on stage, and he's putting his wine down, or whatever drink he had, and almost like he's not even paying attention to the crowd, and not saying a word. And his first thing's like, "What?
Right.
When you guys clock in, do you start to work right away?"
Right. And his epic battles with Willie. Oh my God, those were great. Were you privy to any of those?
No, please. If you can share anything. I did not know. I did not know Willie.
Don't want to go into detail. That's not what this one is. But yeah, because, the thing about us back then was, people don't really get this today. But back then, he got Jimmy Neutron. Then none of us did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it was. If there's one Latino voice on some show, on some Disney thing, you know what I mean? One of us is going to get it and nobody else is. We were our competition. When we went to those auditions, we all saw each other. Oh, there's Paul, there's George, there's me, there's Pablo. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was it. Yeah. And so there was always a little bit of a sense of, putting us against each other. Because if I'm going to say to you, good luck, well, shit, now you're taking a role that I should have got, or I could have got, or I think I should, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of environment. So him with me, he always looked up to me, and I never was a dick to him or disrespected him like that. So he was cool. But him and Willie would, oh my God, bro, they will get into some shit, dude, because he didn't back down. He didn't care. He wasn't afraid of the other comics. Yeah. And yeah, he would. I just remember him like his little smile and be like, and then Ned, I this is what I said to Willie, and he would do that fucking laugh, bro. And I just thought he was a fun kid. And you look back, right? What was it? Where's that thought? Like, we all have a career, is comedians especially, right? Yeah. Because we turn dark at some point, and then we come back to the light. Yeah. We do that. Yeah. But there's a moment where you could go, there it is. I think with him, it was the divorce, man. With him, it's the divorce and the kids.
Yeah. Something definitely happened to him at that point.
Yeah, and it kind of got stained Latino. How was Rudy's Moreno's death? I thought that Rudy Moreno's death was really, it was a real big loss for the Latino comedic community because he was the peacemaker. You know, he was the guy that would put on shows that all those guys would do. By that time, I wasn't a part of it, right? Because I was already kind of past those kinds of shows that they would do.
Yeah.
But he would get those guys together and be like, "Hey, man, don't fight. Stop being stupid." He was the father that was like, "Really, guys? Really, Jeff? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Willie? Come on, stop it." And he would come together. And it's ironic because there's a wall that separates where he used to live from the projects. And when we were kids, we used to egg his house. Dude, every single time I saw him, he would look at me and go, "The fucking egg guy." Every single time, bro. Never let it go. Dude, we hung out hundreds of times. It wasn't like every single time, bro. He let me remember.
You were the egg guy?
Yeah, that I was the guy that threw eggs on his house. But I really felt bad for the Latino community on that one. Were you a part of that whole thing when it?
No,
was it after, before you, after what?
It was definitely during me. I never did any of Rudy's shows. I never had much contact. We met a few times, but nothing of substance. I never did any sort of Rudy production at all. So for me personally, I wasn't really affected by how he helped, and I know he helped. Didn't they call him like the Godfather of Latino comedy or something like that?
And it's ironic that he didn't do like a big thing, right? It wasn't like he did, this comedy compadres or whatever. Mm-mm. It was just a lot of local stuff.
He just did a lot of local stuff.
But he kept all those LA comedians, you know what I mean?
In line.
Kind of in line.
Yeah.
Kind of just being respectful.
Yeah.
Not being mean and cruel to each other and like hurtful and, hey, look, we can all work together.
Yeah.
That was another thing that he would do. When his shows were on and he put all Latinos, it was the opposite of some other unnamed comedians that were like, I'm going to be the only Latino. I don't have Latino openers. I don't have Latino perform for me.
Yeah.
Because I want to be the only Latino success. He wasn't that. And he taught those young kids a lesson that, like, you don't have to be enemies, guys. And whoever gets that role, I learned that whoever gets the role is who should get the role. When me, George, Paul, and Cheech read for Tin Cup.
Really?
For Romeo. For the part of Romeo.
Yeah.
We all read for it. And I remember I did a really good reading. And they brought me back again. But, dude, when I saw the movie and I saw Cheech and his performance, I was like,
he was perfect for it.
He's perfect. Why did they bring me in the second time? Yeah. Fucking assholes. I was literally pissed. Like, why would you even make me think that I might be okay for this when this guy was here?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a role, or there have been roles that would be better suited for me than him. But that one, bro, that was his.
That was all him.
That was all him. And I kind of it changed my perspective. That movie, Tin Cup, and the reading for it changed my perspective. Because what it made me realize is you're not taking anything from somebody. Because people go, man, he took my part. Nobody took your part. Nobody took your role.
Yeah.
We all gave something different, right? We all went to a kitchen and we all cooked. And we all went, this is how I make this pie.
Yeah.
And everybody went this, and then they tasted it and went.
And they picked their favorite pie.
And the pie that fit the other menu. Because it wasn't just about the pie.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, then that's fine. It's about, no. This pie is going to be served with, you know, and all these other connections, I was young. I probably would have been intimidated. Plus, I was funny, and they were kind of going, maybe we could go young, but then it would have taken away from their relationship of how old they are and how long they've been together. And it just made me go, you know what? I'm just going to cook. And when it's right for me, they're going to let me know. And when it's not right for me, I'm going to be okay with it. I'm not going to be upset as if it was taken from me. It was never mine in the first place.
Yeah.
So that changed me, but that was that kind of competitive nature wasn't part of his being.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful thing to see, especially back then when we were fucking at each other, bro. We were at each other because it just felt like that's how you had to be. I mean, you were there in the beginning of this where it was like one of you gets a job, the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, one of you is going to get into the Comedy Store. And for over a decade-ish, it was almost, you know, just me from a guy's perspective and Ludovica as a female. I mean, it wasn't a lot of us going in. It was almost like, I remember when I first got passed, there was a guy named Tony Ray. And I walked down and she goes, I want you to be a non-paid regular. And then I'm like, oh my God, thank you. And, you know, the other comedian's about to go on, so I want to be respectful. I don't want to talk to her while this other dude is about to maybe get passed or not. Gave her a hug, walked downstairs, and then somebody looked at Tony and, well, look at the guy who's taking all your spots now. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What? Wait, what? Who's that guy? Who are you? What? Wait, I'm not. What am I taking? That was like literally my introduction into being a Latino comedian.
Wow.
Months into it that I'm taking this other guy's spots.
Wow.
Like that. And by the look on Tony's face, he literally was like, oh, shit. I had no idea, man. And that little thing right there led to so much of the anti-Carlos, the distension, because it started with that kind of shit. It was that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that, in the beginning of my career, it was Kinnison that kind of gave me the strength to not worry about that shit. I remember he drove down. He said he drove down to see me perform. I don't know if that's the case, but he was there. We were doing a show in La Jolla at the Comedy Store, and I got off stage, and he was like, "Look, I came to see you. I think you're really funny. If you want to come on the road and do some stuff with me, but I don't think you need to. You're just keep doing what you're doing, and don't let any of the shit around you bother you. Your job is to do what you just did right now. You go up on that stage, and you be great. That's your job. That's what you do. You do it well. Keep growing. Ignore everything else." And boy, did I ignore everything else, bro. I mean, but to me, that dude at the time was, I mean, he'd already sang Wild Thing, you know, the song.
Yeah.
And it blew up like a lot of people don't know. I mean, he's a goddamn comedian, bro. And he's like singing that song, and, you know, he was just on that level. And so he made me realize that I just need to focus on my stand-up. I just took that to such an extreme, bro, that I didn't hear or see anything outside of that. But he was also somebody that I learned from comedically. The juxtaposition of his voice. People don't realize, like, his regular speaking voice was so engaging. It just pulled you in when he started it. You know what I mean? And then little by little, it just got higher and higher. And then boom, it was that thing, you know, that classic bit about he's reading the newspaper and reading the obituaries, and there's a dude that got caught having sex with the corpses. You know the bit?
Yes.
And the way he does it, you know, the way he used to do it, which was, and this guy is oh. I just thought it was like, oh my God, look at that. That's I was like a little kid going, I see the Matrix. I see the Matrix. Like, it's not the whole Matrix, but I can see what he did. It was so fucking. Did any of those guys affect you like that?
I loved Kinnison, but I loved Kinnison so much that he even did a little bit of acting. He was on an episode of Married with Children. I don't know if you remember, but he was Al's guardian angel.
That's
and
right.
I thought he did such a great job with that. But he was like the son of a preacher. Like that's where he got his.
I think he did some preaching
Yeah,
himself.
like I believe he did.
Right.
And Kinnison was.
Well, he was a teacher too in back to school.
Yes, and he was the only guy Ralphie May ever toured with was Sam Kinison.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, like
Wait. When was this?
Kinison discovered Ralphie at the way Ralphie told me the story, it was a comedy contest at a Shakey's Pizza.
The fuck was he doing at a Shakey's
I
Pizza?
and I'm like,
You see what I'm saying?
I had so many questions on how it worked out, but
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know he would go to that.
Yeah.
Like he came to mind.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
Yeah, and Sam was smitten by Ralphie, and like, hey, like let's do some stuff on the road together. And Ralphie was already getting strong enough to headline in his own, so it didn't last very long before Ralphie just started branching out and headlining on his own.
Well, this was when he toured with a few of the guys, and they called. When did they had a name?
I don't know.
The Outlaws of Comedy. Was it
I'm
the
not
Outlaws
sure.
of Comedy?
I don't know. I really don't.
I think it was, bro. I think they called the Outlaws of Comedy, and they had remember LeBeau was part of it.
Yeah. I loved him.
Oh, dude, I loved him. I loved that guy.
Yeah.
That's another guy that comedian that passed away. But Carl LeBeau, he's one of those guys that every fucking time I saw him, dude, I was like, why is this guy at the Comedy Store at 12:30 at night?
Yeah. He's a monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's so much better than this. It's like it's literally like it's like going to Griffith Park in Los Angeles, right? And they have this little carousel with these ponies so that the kids can get on the ponies. It would be literally like seeing a goddamn Clydesdale in the middle of all its ponies. And like, why? I never understood how that guy did not become a household name.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't. There's with Carl, it wasn't like there was a moment in time where you could go, you did this or he said that, or oh, he fought with this, or oh, he got mad with, oh, he pissed off these people, or oh, ABC came to see him and in the end he said fuck ABC. Like, as far as I know, none of those stories occurred. This was just a guy that somehow, for some reason, was not able to fulfill at least what I thought the expectations were of what he could be.
That makes sense.
Did you ever see him perform?
Yeah. I was such a fanatic about stand-up. If there's a show, and I was so specific, like I got tired of going to open mic nights. But if it was a Laugh Factory, an improv, a Comedy Store, and if I could make it there, right. Those were the best, even though I lived an hour and a half away from these places at the time.
Right.
And especially with traffic, that'd be a 2-3 hour adventure. But that's how I learned about like Dane Cook and Freddie Soto and Pablo Francisco and these names that became household names in my house, if that makes sense. Like these are people, like if they're in town, because I live closest to the Ontario Improv, and Pablo's in town or Freddie's in town. And Freddie Soto's the first guy as a young comic that gave me a guest spot on a weekend. So I got to do a weekend at the club that's closest to my house, where I told the world I'm doing 8 to 10 minutes.
Right.
And it was, and I'll never forget, it was Edwin San Juan was a host, and Al Madrigal was the middle, and Freddie Soto was a closer. And if you guys have never heard of Al Madrigal, please do yourself a favor and look Al Madrigal up. He was a writer for The Daily Show. I don't know if he is anymore, but
I think he was on a sitcom. I don't know if it's still on. But
he was on the Lopez versus Lopez sitcom. That he was a regular on that.
Okay, so and he's always been a great
so intelligent.
comedian.
He's the most intelligent Latino comic I can think of. Like, he doesn't mind using the big words. Mm-hmm. He doesn't mind that the Raider fans, the bald-headed Raider fans aren't his fans. Mm-hmm. And he pushed through that door. That's what he pushed through. And I admire everything that Al Madrigal does. I will be a fan. I'm a fan of that guy till the day I die. That's how hilarious.
He's amazing. not a huge fan of Mencia, but I think that here's what I know. And since we're going to go, let's go to Freddie Soto, right? Freddie, a lot of people got pissed at me when we did the Freddie Soto, wake, so to speak, when I spoke. Were you there when that happened?
I was there.
So I was told that it was a drug-related death of some sort. And so I made a point to say, like, hey, man, you got to stay away from that kind of shit because this happens. And I think that a lot of people didn't, understand that. But from my perspective, it's like, look, he's dead. And if we can learn something from this death, if we can take something from this, something meaningful, something that'll last, something that'll leave a lasting mark, not just his comedy, because he hadn't done enough specials, enough comedy to have left a legacy of comedy amongst other people.
Yeah.
But I thought, if his death can make one of us go, you know what, I'm not going to take that pill. I don't know what it is, or I'm not going to do those drugs, or I'm not going to do this. I thought it was an appropriate thing to say.
I agree because if it's preventable, the drugs are preventable.
Right.
We'd still have a Mitch Hedberg if there wasn't a drug problem. We'd still have a Freddie Soto if there wasn't a drug issue.
That Fox. Was John Fox? Remember that guy?
Yes. But there's...
He was like cocaine god. That dude was just... He'd go on stage and you're like, what the fuck is that guy on? I mean, hysterical, but the same thing. Same lesson for me.
Like just preventable. Like you don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. I choose to stay away from them because of those examples. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be that example because I really do love being on stage and trying to make people laugh. And I know these guys did too.
Right.
And it's just an unnecessary loss, in my opinion.
I agree. And I thought that was the right time to say it, surrounded by all the comedians.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Freddie. Okay, so there's a dynamic that occurs when you're the boss or when you're the foreman. Oh, let's take a foreman, for example, right? You work in a warehouse. There's 10 of you, and there's a foreman. You 10 don't hang out with the foreman. Foreman doesn't really hang out with you, of course, because you know how it is, bro. He didn't want to give me this, so you just stay away from that kind of stuff. Then the foreman goes away, and one of the 10 becomes a foreman. How long before that dynamic completely changes, and they're not the 10 guys anymore? It's those 9 guys and the foreman, even though they were friends the day before, whatever. How long does it take?
Yeah, before they hate the foreman.
Right, a day, maybe 2, because they want to. Hey, bro, could I get this day off? Could I? And no, you can't.
Yeah,
bro.
Oh, you forgot what it was like, bro.
Right.
You forgot what it was like to be one of us.
Right. And
I remember.
But on the other side, I have a responsibility now. Now, if you guys don't do your job, I get fired.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure you guys do your job. So anyway, foremen need to have a thick skin. Bosses need to have a thick skin, because no matter what you do, no matter how good you are of a boss, they're gonna sit around and talk shit, say negative things.
Yeah.
Right? It's the bitching. It's the today at work. I think that when we were on the road, he told them some stories. Well, I know for a fact that he told them stories that never happened. Because I was talking to somebody, anyway, it doesn't matter. And she was like, well, I can't believe what you did to Freddie. And I'm like, what did I do to Freddie other than try to help him? Almost took a bullet for his ass once. She's like, well, what about that one time where you told him, you can't do your act, do new material, I'm going to do your act. And then you went on stage and did his act. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That never happened. I would never say that. As a matter of fact, I'm the opposite of that. I'm the comedian that if you open for me, I don't give you parameters. I don't tell you to stay away from anything. I don't tell you do it. I don't tell you, Lord. We were hanging out with Juan Villarreal this weekend. I don't know if you were in there, but Juan was telling us stories of all these people that he opened for that literally said, hey, bro, you gotta you're not the headliner, bro. So tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
You're opening. Do your, you know what I mean? And I'm not, I go, dude, you better not have ever said me. He goes, no, of course not. Because I'm not that guy. I'm the opposite of that. So I know that he kind of came off the road and would kind of vent to them. Oh, man, Carlos, he makes us pick up his bag sometimes. Oh, man, he makes us sing after the show. Oh, man, like, you know, whatever kind of...
They make it sound so torturous.
Well, stupid shit to the point where a lot of those guys, you know, they have animosity toward me, or at least some negative feeling, because they're like, I can't believe what you did to him. But from my perspective, it's like, you know, I've spoken about this before, but for those of you that don't know, I was hosting the amateur night of the show. He was on stage. He started getting heckled by Dr. Dre, DOC, Snoop Dogg. I went up on stage in the middle of his act and told him, stop heckling him. If you want to heckle anybody, heckle me. These are amateurs. Jesus Christ, they're barely getting jokes out, and now you're gonna like yell out some shit. And then I came up on stage and I just put them in their place, and I went just overboard, and they were gonna shoot me that day. And luckily Shaquille O'Neal was there, and he told them, no, you're not gonna shoot him. So he probably saved my life. And that's how our relationship started. That's Freddie Soto. But if you also watch, and I'm not saying this for any other reason than it's true, but when Freddie Soto first started, right, his father used to behave like this. Hey, mijo, get the sender and put it on the side of the thing near the middle. Regardless. That was it. Regardless, right? It was mellow.
Yeah.
It was, go find it, and if you don't find it, I'm going to kick your ass regardless. Well, that I'm going to kick your ass, after touring with me for a few years, all of a sudden at the end, now his father is like, you better find it. If I go over there and I find it, I'm going to, oh, but if it was Charlie, I love you, Charlie. I found you, Charlie. It's right here, Charlie. It was a whole nother human being.
Yeah.
That was Soto Mencia.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
all that energy.
I remember seeing his hair would mess up because he was so passionate.
Oh, yeah.
And his hair,
would do that.
and his hair would just
right,
start.
right. I gave that to him. And I could have been like, hey, bro, don't act like me or don't give it energy. Fuck that. That's so stupid. He found a way to channel whatever he'd learned in comedy, some from me, some from others, whatever. And he created that father that was just boom. And here's a weird thing about it. You know, at the time, his father material was so goddamn good that I would tell other Latino comedians, don't even try to do
Dad jokes.
dad jokes. Because it's not going to be as good as what he's doing. Eventually, he'll get over it and start doing something different. But you can't compete with that shit. That Latino father is just comedy Latino father #1 right now.
Yeah.
So my perspective on it was always different. It was always, I gave this guy, you know, everything I could. I mean, I put him in a movie called The Three Amigos. I put him and Pablo in a movie. It's called The Three Amigos. You've seen the movie? You've never seen the movie?
I thought the Three Amigos I'm thinking of is the Steve Martin movie.
Oh, no. There's a movie, right? It's a comedy concert movie called The Three Amigos with me and those two. Yeah. Pablo Francisco and Freddie Soto.
Huh.
And we each do like half hour, and it's a 1 hour, half-hour show. Yeah. And yeah, it was. They wanted to do it with George and Paul at first. And, you know, I go, those guys aren't going to want to do it. But please, go ahead and ask them. And then they came back literally a day later, like, yeah, they don't want to do it. I go, I told you, because of me. They'll probably do something different. And they did. They ended up doing that Yo Quiero Comedy or something, whatever that thing was,
yeah.
Latino comedy something. They did that. But I go, look, we can still do this movie with these two guys. These two guys, you're getting them right before they explode.
Yeah.
Right before they just destroy it. And that's what we did. And we ended up with the Three Amigos movie. You got to check it out, bro.
Absolutely will.
It's it was that's my perspective on him. I miss him I miss him so much, man. I miss Freddie so much because he was one of those guys that could do something that I couldn't do. And I've always looked up to people, comedians that can do things that I can't. Even though his father was that I can identify because he had Carlos energy, he didn't. Freddie did not. Freddie himself, as a comedian, was very soft-spoken, very, and then he would blow up, right?
Yeah.
When he would do his father thing or whatever. But that regular, normal energy was very inviting and engaging. And I always looked up to that because I was like, I can't do that. I don't have the balls to like talk that long and not get a laugh or just set it up the joke. I mean, that dude had the ability to just bring you along and bring you along and bring you along, and then boom, just out of nowhere, bro, just that punch over the so I wish I would have seen what he was going to become. Plus, he was more of an actor.
Because I remember a movie. It's funny you say that. Like it was like an Adam
Spanglish?
Sandler's. There you go, Spanglish. That's what it was. And his lines were in Spanish.
But he really wanted to be an actor. And I would have loved to see where that went. Shit. He probably would have ended up in that movie I did, American Wedding, instead of me.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, dude. But I would have loved to see where it went. That was one that hit me pretty hard. The other one that hit me really hard, bro, was Jenny. Jenny hit me really hard because just days, bro, literally days before he shot himself, I was at the Laugh Factory, and he was there. And I walked in, and he's like, "Hey, Carlos." I was like, "Oh, my God, Richard, you are."
Richard Jenny was another genius.
Oh, God. Richard Jenny is the greatest to this day. I've never encountered better before or after, right? He is the GOAT of bits.
Writing a
Bit.
huge,
bit.
yes.
The bit. Every one of his bits was perfect from beginning to ending. There was nothing extra there.
Yeah.
You couldn't squeeze a fucking drop of comedy out of it. There was nothing but that.
Yeah.
And it was just, because most comedians, and you've been around me, meat on the bone.
Yeah.
Meat on the bone. For you people, meat on the bone means there's a little bit more there.
There's still more.
Out.
There's more in the
still
joke.
more to draw out. I would watch Jenny and go, that's, fuck, I suck. God damn, I'm horrible.
Yeah.
I suck. I can't write worth a shit. Jesus, look at this. And he asked me, well, if I'm that good of a writer, why am I not writing on mine in Mencia? And in my head, I immediately went, you would take a step down?
Because in your mind, you're insulting him by trying to get him to be a writer.
I would be insulting, but I did go, dude. I go, if you want to be a writer on my show, you are a writer on my show. End of story. If that's what you want. And I remember walking away from that interaction feeling very strange. Because the way he said, well, why am I not on your show? It was so beta. It was so like, wait a minute, dude, do you know who the fuck you are?
Like submissive type thing?
Well, yeah, you're Richard Jenny. You are HBO guy. You are one of the funniest.
But you know how comics can be. Like what we see in the mirror and what the rest of the world sees could be two drastically different things. And I think Richard Jenny is a prime example of that.
100%. But I didn't put it together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't. And a few days later, when I found out that he shot himself, I found myself in a very, very strange position of going, fuck, could I have done more? Like, instead of saying, if you want, should I have said, like, bro, call me tomorrow and we'll fucking get it going and you're going to be a writer on mine and Mencia? Like, would that have given him that one little thought of future endeavors that would have excited him enough to not pull that trigger. I don't know, bro. I'm not. Nobody knows, but the fact that that thought was in my head, it was just so fucking sad, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
He says because you're left with what ifs.
And that's what sucks.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what if could I have done more? Could I have? But I just, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it was that one. That one was rough. That one still kills me. And then it doesn't just kill me for that, but it kills me for the young comedians today who don't know who he is. I'm like, oh my god,
To see this brilliant writer, just because that's what he was, just a brilliant writer.
and he did good accents. He had a really funny voice. It was a little nasally, and he had a cute face. I mean,
When I say artist, I call him art like a painter. Like he's painting the picture with his words. You're able to visualize so easily what he's saying.
he did the perfect bits. I mean, listen, go check him out. But if you're gonna see him, please do not see little pieces of what he does, 1 minute excerpts of his bits.
Because he doesn't do that.
You have to watch the let's go fishing bit from the beginning, that infomercial, to the end.
Yeah.
That's when you see his genius.
The gay referee is the one that stands out.
I forgot about that.
The gay NFL referee that he has total power. And I'm just going to stop the game and lie down on the 50-yard line. I got to get something off my chest.
He just, man, that one blew me away. Which ones affected you of those big guys that you didn't really know but were effective? Was Robin one of those for you?
No, because it took me years before I realized that Robin did stand up. I'd only known him as from the Mork and Mindy days, and through his acting career, and then I learned that he did a lot of USO stuff, and that's where I first learned that he did like stand up. But like people that have. Like we're talking about death that affected me, and I didn't realize would actually affect me. Like when Kobe Bryant passed away, I'd never met the guy. Yeah, I was a fan. He was Kobe. Like he was obviously a rock star in basketball.
Right.
And I remember it was a Sunday morning when I read it, and I felt like shit that day. Like I remember, and like I didn't know this guy. Why are these thoughts going through my head? But then you don't realize how people have an impact on you. Because you hear their name, you see them on TV, you don't realize you kind of grow to care for them without realizing them. Is what I realized.
Yeah, they grow on you.
Yeah, and then and then how he died, and and with his daughter, and like, oh my God, this goes from sad to worse, and just how quickly things can change in the blink of an eye. Just his intentions were, he was taking his little girl to a basketball game, wanted to avoid the traffic, had the helicopter. Let's take some of your teammates with us. What a great day for those parents and kids, by the way. We're going on Kobe's copter to get to the game. How rock star are we? And just how it just ends, just like that. Just the lights are out. I'm like, fuck.
And it's a helicopter crash, and you're like, how did that this? No. Helicopters have these little alarms that it's a sensor that when
there's something around,
a few feet under, whatever that setting is, I mean, 100 feet, 100, like, how did it fucking happen? I get it. That was I think Robin Williams affected me pretty hard because he didn't want to live in a world where he couldn't be himself, like where he couldn't be Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't remember this, but he had a TV show on NBC that was pretty successful. It was like a comeback thing for him. And he was, well, not a comeback, but, like the wave. It was a big wave. And what happened was the last year that it was on, he had a lot of problems, like remembering, delivering, the disease that he had started to affect him. And the fact that he is a comedian as one of us was like, I'd rather not be here if I can't be that guy.
Yeah.
That scares the fuck out of me, bro. That scares the shit out of me. It scares the shit out of me because of all people, how much I love being on that stage, bro.
Well, think about like someone like Sinbad that had a stroke. So he's alive, but he can't perform anymore.
Yeah, that one. And I've done shows with Sinbad, bro. Like we've done a lot of shows together. At one point we were represented by the same people. Oh, ironically, a basketball player, Norm Nixon Entertainment, back in the day. He was I loved him. He was always, I mean, he's not dead, but as a stand-up, I really enjoyed watching him perform.
And clean, squeaky clean. Not a curse word would come out of his mouth.
Didn't drop M-bombs.
Nope.
Brothers.
Nothing.
Brother, B, sister B. Like yeah. But yeah, I do wake up in sweats once in a while, going, man, what would I do if I couldn't do stand-up? Like what would literally be? I know I'd go through some shit. I know I'd be depressed. I suicidal, probably, bro.
COVID, you know what I mean? COVID was our test. I went 15 months without touching a stage.
No, but not for me.
And
bro.
I got angrier and angrier and angrier.
Nope. Dude. So luckily, I do well pretty much everywhere, but one of the markets that I've been going to longer, let's put it that way, is Florida and Texas. And those two states stayed very open, especially Florida. So I was out for a month or two tops. That was it. And then I was doing shows. Now we were doing shows to 50% capacity, to 40% capacity, 60% capacity, depending on where it was. But we were still doing shows. I remember, it's now a comedy, it's a Funny Bone, but back when it was an improv in Orlando, it's kind of like it had the three tiers. And what they did was they put little plastics.
Glass?
So that
glass.
if when you laughed, it would hit the glass and it wouldn't continue to the people above you. But and then they were spaced out. So it was weird, but I still got to do it. And I did some live shows too, online, and on Zoom.
Yeah, those are hard.
But I never did stand up on those. Those were just really rich people, like giving me a lot of money to entertain them. And so what I would do is I would sit there and kind of just start talking to them and then
riff from the conversation.
Do my bits within that style. But I wasn't like on stage kind of pretending to do it because, I mean, they're right there. So I could see them. And I was like, oh, it looks like you got a kid. My kid. Oh, man, let me tell you about kids. These kids. And then I tell stories about whatever. And that's kind of what it was. But that was fun for me, actually, because I never did that. But I didn't ever get the opportunity to actually do stand-up like that. The closest I got to that was when we did like Norco and we had like 500 cars. We had thousands of people.
Like a movie theater?
No, it was in Norco, in the middle, there's a basin where it's all grass and, it's for the horses and all that kind of stuff. We did it there. So we did a blow-up screen. And then the first 3-4 rows were trucks. So they pulled them backwards, put lawn chairs in the back of the trucks, and then just watch that way. So they were my guide of laughter.
Got it.
Right? So I would tell a joke, and then I'd mug, but I could hear them laugh. Like, I could actually hear them laugh. And then you could hear in the background, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And so, yeah, I guess that was kind of, but there was still an audience there, and there was still somebody laughing. But yeah, we've lost a lot of comedians, man, and for a lot of sad reasons. Some of them, I mean, Hedberg, bro. Like, God, what would have he done? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the what ifs of that guy. He was so, I mean, every single comedian I know that ever heard escalators can never break. They can only become stairs. Never forgets that. Stupid, simple, brilliant, fucking genius joke.
You're welcome for the convenience.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He
It's like,
said that.
yeah, the escalator can only become stairs. You're welcome for the convenience.
Yeah, I would have loved to see those guys and what they became. It's sad. And it's sad that we're such a, for people that, it's kind of ironic, for people that bring joy to the world, we're sometimes very, very sad, dark people, bro. We hold a lot of shit in and keep it to ourselves, a lot of pain sometimes within us.
It's the life.
Yeah, I guess, man. I mean, maybe for me it's because of therapy, but I just don't feel those dips like that. You know what I mean? I don't. Most of the time now, when things occur, I brace myself thinking that it's going to shock me, and it rarely does. It's, talking about life and going to somebody who's, I've been with my therapist for, God, way over a decade. Sheesh. Yeah, God. So coming on 2 decades. So he knows me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He can see when I'm walking toward the cliff, so to speak. You know what I mean? I'm not even close to it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm getting in the car. Like, where you going? Nowhere. You going to the Grand Canyon? Fuck. Wow. How do you know? Like, I'm not, it's a theoretical. It's like me doing something stupid.
But that's a great example. Like, hey, you go to the Grand Canyon?
It's like, wait. How do you know? Just talk to me. What's going on? And I was like, fuck. And then I find out. And then so I expect the world to be what the world is. Unpredictable, crazy, weird, hard, beautiful, easy. And so, when the bad things happen, it's cool because I accept the good things that happen. You know what I mean? Like last night was a night that for me. The audience was really old, but man, they laughed as hard as they could. And then after when we did karaoke, it wasn't like a huge crowd, but they were
they were on board. They were here.
They were so there. And I don't know if you saw that the old couple, they stayed till the end of the night right up front.
I didn't notice that till the end of the night, but
right?
I did notice that. Like, wow.
Yeah. And so I guess, we got to, some of the stuff that we're talking about, were people that took their lives. And that's happened a lot in our community. And I think that we need to seek some help. We are therapy for a lot of people, right? As comedians.
Yeah.
We kind of go up there and then talk about stuff that other people want to talk about, can't make them laugh. It's a bit therapeutic. But who takes care of us? You know what I mean? So I think that, especially comedians, you should maybe take the time to. Now you say more friends. Your idea is friends. Your thing is that.
Well, my thing is, and luckily, it's like we've jumped you into our little gang. But I got my friends, Eric and Matt, and we actually call it our therapy session. So we'll meet. Yeah. And it's like, hey, and it'll be a text in the beginning of the week. Does anybody need any therapy cigars this week?
Right.
And it's anything from a sick kid, fighting with the wife, breakup. It's like anything that you have on your mind. This is a safe space where nobody's talking shit, especially me, since until I was the only comic in the bunch.
Right.
And it's just get it off your chest. It's like, hey guys, I'm thinking about this, or I'm pondering this. Or one of our guys that comes once in a while, Joey, I'm thinking about breaking up with my girlfriend. It's like, well, okay, let's hash out the do's and don'ts, the pros and cons, and right. and sometimes, much like what a therapist does, we just do it amongst friends,
sure,
smoking cigars.
Sure.
So and you've been included on that, where
I've been to them.
Where there's times where like luckily my friend Matt has 2 kids and you have 2 kids. I can't step in on that, but it's fun to witness that tennis match of well, I saw it like this. Well, I never saw it that way. So okay, so what about this?
Right.
And it's brilliant and uplifting, and it's the ultimate key is to know that you're not alone. Whatever thought you have, you are not alone with that thought. Whatever feeling you have in your heart, you're not alone. There is nothing you can go through that somebody else hasn't gone through in the past. Not one thing.
Right.
You know, from death to divorce and everything in between. And you know, how did my friend Matt put it? Like, it was such a brilliant design. When you have your little circle of friends, you know, it multiplies the fun, but it divides the pain.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Because now, if it's a painful situation, now you're handing off some of that to us, and let us take it.
Right.
Any real friend will take that for you.
Right.
But also, when you're having a blast,
Right.
oh, it's only better because all of us were together.
Right. Yeah. And the good thing about that group is that, you know, when we've gotten together and had therapy sessions, it's been more about listening and also kind of saying, well, have you thought of this? Or have you looked at it this way? Have you seen it this way? There's a lot of emotional intelligence within that group of people.
Yeah.
I would assume that a lot of people don't have those kinds of friends. We have very, very brilliant, intelligent, mature friends.
But also, if it doesn't have to be friends, it might be you're close to some cousins or you got brothers and sisters. It doesn't have to be just guys. I concentrate more on the guys. I have 4 sisters, but they have each other.
Right.
I'm the only boy of the bunch.
Witty.
You know, they have their own little text threads where they go with each other. But with me, I'm the loner.
You're the lone guy in the family.
In that, so
Yeah.
And so as you got older and realizing that you feel better, you know, and for some people, like for a while I was going to church every Sunday. When I grew up with it, then went a big gap without. Then I started going on Sundays where I would sit in the back, and then I started paying attention. And you know, before I was like, as a kid, I'm like, okay, you stand up, you kneel, you eat a cracker. You stand up, you kneel, you eat a cracker. You know, and then I started getting interested. Like I started having favorite priests.
Right.
And then COVID happened, so that all shut down. So that's when I think I really started to embrace my friends. Like, hey guys, can I just throw something at you?
Right.
And once your real friends, your real cousins, whoever they are, realize like, hey, okay, this is not beyond the guy being, oh, stop being a little bitch. There's something going on here, and we need to talk about it.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yes.
That people understand that it's not that.
Yeah, that's.
Don't be a little bitch. Stop
Yeah.
acting like that.
Yeah. But sometimes it is the case. Like, hey, don't you think you might be acting like a little bitch about that?
Right.
Well, you know what? I never thought about that. Are you throwing yourself a pity party?
Right.
Because as guys, we got to be able to recognize that too.
Sure.
It's like, hey, you don't have it so fucking bad. People are dreaming of having the life that we're leaving. So shut the fuck up.
Right. It's perspective.
Yeah.
And you know, there's 5 of us now if we had all together.
Yeah.
Right? And those 5 of us, we were together last night.
Yeah.
All of us have a different perspective. So we put it together. I truly enjoy that. I also enjoy the therapy as well, just because, like I said, that's very, that's very one-on-one with a professional person that does this for a living.
Yeah.
So there's something to do. At one point, I even had like a coach, life coaches. But life coaches are they're very super uber positive. And it was something that I was like, oh, I don't need that. I'm already positive. I'm in a good place already.
Yeah.
So, but that's more because they don't have to have a license. They could be anybody, and you know, it's more about empowerment kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, man. There's a lot of people that we missed. A lot of people we wish were back, and some that could have and should have been here were not. Other circumstances. So, you know, try to find a base, a group of people, a therapist, somebody to.
Just talk to somebody. Just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough that your parents are still alive and you got a good relationship with just one of them, doesn't have to be both of them.
Right.
Cousin, an uncle. It does. If somebody pops up in your head that I can talk to,
Right.
do it.
Yeah. There it is, man. Do it because I think what you said is so relevant. When you're in those doldrums of sadness, when you're in that place of darkness, that darkness theoretically makes you feel like you're alone. And I guess the one thing is what he said. You're not alone. And you are definitely not the only or first person that this shit has ever happened to. It's just a part of life, the sad part of the tragedy. And sometimes that tragedy lands on you, and you got to find a way out of it. You got to find a way through it. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll see you next week, man. Hope you living your best life.
See ya.